You're listening to The Morning Uplift, the podcast that brings you motivation and encouragement to begin your week. I'm your host, Liz Colburn. Grab your coffee, begin getting ready for your day, and join me as we discuss what it means to find the beauty in your journey. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Morning Uplift. It is the week of L-O-V-E. It's Valentine's Day week. And did you know that half of the American population identifies themselves as single? It's a huge holiday, but it's really divided when half of our population are happy and half of them are sad, being single or being married. And even the half that do identify as being in a relationship, those people, not all of them are really happy, which for me, being married, I find that very heartbreaking. But unfortunately, that's the truth. So if half of us are single, half of us are in a relationship, and of that half, they're not all happy, it just seems like we have this big holiday that seems overly stressful. And as a country, we spend over $20 billion on Valentine's Day. It's also an impulsive holiday. And I don't know too many people, I don't know about you, but I don't know too many people who invest a lengthy amount of time into what they're getting their sweetheart for Valentine's Day. To me and all the people I know, I just feel like everyone's running all over the place trying to figure out if they need a teddy bear this year or if they need another box of chocolates or if they even get a card for their sweetheart or not. So I don't know a lot of people that spend a lot of time thinking about it. It just seems impulsive to me. And okay, I know in this moment that I sound very pessimistic about this holiday, but the truth is I do like Valentine's Day and I do like celebrating it. My husband and I have plans on Tuesday to make dinner together. We are going to do some crossword puzzles and some fun Mad Libs and Valentine's Day themed activities. In today's world for us as new parents, we just crave time together. Honestly, quality time where we can just cuddle on the couch, do something brainless for a while, and just spend time together. So that's our plans, just making dinner at home and spending some downtime together. So I'm not pessimistic about this holiday, but I do believe in love all year long. And most importantly, and with today's topic, I believe in self-love, and that's not something that's celebrated often enough. Now, I'm not going to have you do this activity today, but I can only imagine that if I had you list the top 5 to 10 things you love, you wouldn't mention yourself. Think about that for a second, and why do we do that? If we listed what we love, we list things like our family members, kind gestures that we enjoy, guilty pleasures, our faith, and more. But in that long list, ourselves is nowhere near the top. And I think the biggest struggle for me is that I have always humbled myself in the past for taking care of others. I love doing that. I want to serve others and I desire to give and be helpful. And my instincts tell me that's probably you too. And here is what I want you to know today. I want you to lean in and take in this piece of knowledge and know it's okay to live this way. Keep your tank full and then seek ways to help others. I know you listening right now have a good heart and you want to be others-centered, but you can't help others until you know what it is to love and take care of yourself. Now, what is self-love? I'm talking about self-love. That's the topic today. And what does that really mean? And I just want to thank Webster really quick. Webster Dictionary helped me with this powerful definition this morning. It literally means regard for one's own well-being and happiness. And then in parentheses, it says chiefly considered as a desirable rather than narcissistic characteristic. So when you're showing self-love, according to Webster and according to what I want you to take away today, self-love is a desirable characteristic, not a selfish one. Let me say that one more time. Self-love is a desirable characteristic, not a selfish one. And being 25 years old, it took me most of my life to figure that out. I always struggled with that, with wanting to put other people's needs before my own. And I really thought that that was me being a good person and being a good friend and being a good family member. But what I'm realizing is that with myself, if I'm not full, if I am not accomplished, if I do not feel healthy and energized, I'm empty and I'm exhausted. And I want you to walk into this week knowing that it's not wrong to care for yourself. It's good for you to walk with confidence and to be healthy and to focus on what energizes you first. So I want to give you some helpful ways to begin doing this week. Here are some ways for you. Begin the day telling yourself something positive. I don't know if you remember, way back to one of my very first episodes, I talked about myself as a kindergartner, and my teacher had us go home, look in the mirror, and tell ourselves something positive about ourselves. And I still remember that activity. Number one, kids are so moldable, so I totally get what my teacher was doing, and self-love is something that kids need to start with. It's really hard now as adults to focus on that when you might not have been taught that as a young person. And I still remember that. And there's something about that that totally makes sense to me about what we say to ourselves and what we say about ourselves really sets the tone for how we're going to interact with others and how we're going to feel about ourselves. You can also fill your body with good food and drink that nourishes it. This might mean that you have to intentionally plan on the weekends for what your week is going to look like. I know in my household, we look at our week, we figure out what's going on in our schedule, and we plan out what we're going to eat for our meals so we're not feeling stressed about our week. And on the way home, it's easier for us to go through the drive-thru than to come home. That was us. That was our lifestyle. But now that we intentionally plan, it's helping us with self-love to be giving our body food and drink that nourishes it instead. And it comes with planning. Make sure you're exercising no matter what that means for your life. Now, I'm not telling you need to be at the gym every single day. Is that the ideal goal? Yes. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying keep your body moving every day. For you, if you don't have a lot of time, maybe that looks like getting up from your desk at work and just walking in place for 10 minutes. I know the new Apple Watch, my husband got that for his birthday, and I know that it has a reminder on it that helps him stand up once an hour. And at first I was like, that is so crazy. Why is your watch going off telling you to stand up every hour? But it makes sense. With self-love, making sure your body is moving is really crucial. And it's better actually for brain productivity, and you can do it at work or whenever it works for your day. Also, do things you enjoy every week. Don't forget to take rests during the week. Be persistent and confident with your passions. For example, if you really enjoy drawing, that's not me, I am not an artist, but if that's you enjoy drawing, and you have a sketch pad that's just sitting in your house somewhere collecting dust, you need to dig up that passion. That's something that fuels you, and spend some time being creative, even if it's 30 minutes. And you just need to shut the world out for a minute. And I just feel like when we get older, we just start shutting out some of these passions that once fueled us. For me, it was dance. And I probably could not tell you the last time that I actually went out and danced. So for me, I'm talking to myself here too. I need to love myself to know that dance fuels me. And that getting out to dance should be something that I put into my week, because I know what it does for me and I know that I need that. And we just don't make time for it. Make sure every single day you're finding something that you're grateful for. Make sure that you're ending toxic relationships. If you did not hear the podcast a couple weeks ago, go back and listen to the podcast I did on toxic relationships and figuring out how to deal with those in your life. Don't forget to celebrate your wins, whether they're big or small. I mean, you can celebrate the smallest of wins. You left the house today on time, and that's a win. You didn't yell at the cars in the traffic line this morning, and that's a win. You worked extremely hard on that paper, and you aced it. That's a win. Little or big, it's a win, people. So make sure that you're celebrating both big and small ones. Make sure you're learning to say no. Self-love is learning that you can say no and it's okay. I used to be the type of person that would make excuses. I wanted to say no, and I felt like I had to say yes. And then it kind of slid into when I would say no, I would make up an excuse that wasn't really the truth because I was too scared to say no. And now I just say no. If I don't have time for something, I can say I don't have time for that. And it's not saying, oh yeah, we'll get something on the calendar and then never calling that person back. And it's not like that in my life anymore, because I've learned that I am not superhuman. I am not a super person, and I can't do it all. So learn to say no. Also, make sure you're zoning out the opinions of other people and practicing positive self-talk. You know who you are, you need to know what you want, and you need to know what brings joy to your life. So whether you are with the 50% of Americans that are single or the 50% that are in a relationship, this Valentine's Day, save your money, stop being like the rest of the population, spending over $500 on average each, I can't even believe that, this holiday, and invest in something free, your own self-love. That is a priceless investment everyone can benefit from, and we all know that chocolate is always on sale the day after anyways. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of The Morning Uplift. I've been your host, Liz Colburn. I hope you join me again next Monday at 6 o'clock a.m. Central, live on Spreaker.com. Go over to our Facebook page, The Morning Uplift, and give it a like. I've also had some requests on doing the show 2 times a week. So fill out the poll on that Facebook page and let me know what schedule works for you. Missed a show? Go ahead and check it out on demand at Spreaker.com or subscribe on iTunes. Contact me at lizcolburnbb@gmail.com. Thank you for spending your morning growing with me. God's blessings on an amazing, purpose-filled week. See you next time as we continue finding the beauty in your journey.